Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is K Scene, and in today's video I'm going to be giving out some of my beginner tips I wish I knew when I started playing the game. So if you enjoy Palia content, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to follow me here on YouTube as well as my Palia IRL channel at KFierce IRL, as well as on Twitch at twitch.tv/KFierceScene. And I now have a podcast also available up on Spotify. So, promotions out of the way. Let's start off with my first beginner tip, which is this little sign right here. Because you can actually chop down this sign, and a lot of people do, but I would tell you to not chop down this little sign till you're absolutely sure you want it gone, because I like it and you can never replace it. So my first tip is don't cut that sign down unless you know you need it gone or you want it gone. Now, my next tip is just simply put, to keep your storage on the lower end, just store a couple of each item. You don't need 50 of each item, but if you're limited on storage, just keep 2 or 3 of each items. That way, if you need something for a quest, you have it ready to go and you can just easily give it out there. But, you know, you don't need 50 pearls sitting in your storage, you know. That's a lot of storage space that in early game storage is very valuable. So you want to make sure that you keep your storage as open as possible for other things you might need to hoard for whatever reason. But on that note of storage, one thing I do to help me out with my storage is, unless I need the crafters cleared out, I actually store a lot of my extra ore or glowworms or cutted boards actually on the crafters until I need them. That way I ain't gotta worry about pulling them out, and I ain't gotta worry about trying to find storage room for all this stuff that I will use eventually, just not yet. So it's just gives you additional storage space. And then did you know that you can actually remove plants from your garden? As you can see right here, where I'm going to zoom in, on the Switch, it's the X button. It's different for everybody else's button, but it should be that same icon that's right beside the X button right there. You basically hold down that button and you can see that bar coming down. I'm gonna stop because I don't want this tree gone. But you can actually remove any plant you garden. So if you put some in the wrong place and you hate it there and you don't want that blueberry plant there, just remove it, plant it with a new one. Now, my next tip is going to be about requests. You can request up to 4 items at a time, and then every 4 to 6 hours, one of your requests will become available to request other things. If you're in the early game, feel free to request everything you want and have time for. So many people in this game are so generous, and so many people are wanting to, you know, fill requests and to give items out. A lot of people, they just want to clear out their storage and they don't really need money, so don't really need to sell everything. So if there's things you want, feel free to request it. Don't feel bad about it. People will give it to you, and people will enjoy the fact that they give it to you. Now, my next tip is going to be about this. See this little white circle, the renown that's capped out? You get, through various things in the game, you get this thing called renown that you can redeem at 2 different places. And what it does is it allows you to increase your focus percentage as well as your total focus bar. As you can see, I'm coming down here to where this was on the Dragon Shrine. And then I'm going to be going up north to the Phoenix Shrine. As I said, they both, one does one and the other does the other. But if you want my personal opinion, I would suggest getting your focus percentage up first to about 75%. And then I would focus on getting your total focus to 700 focus. And then after that, I would just finish out your percentage to 100%. And then you would then finish off your 1000 total focus. That way you're getting more experience early on because focus gives you more experience. The higher the percentage, the more experience you're going to get per thing that you do, skill that you do. And the bigger the percentage bar, the less often you have to fill up the focus bar. So that's just my opinion on those. Now my next tip is going to be about the skills. You see all the skills over here. There are 8 different skills. I would suggest leveling them, all of them, up to level 10 as early as possible within the game, because then that unlocks under the accomplishments over here. You can see it unlocks weekly quests that resets every real life week, and just gives you extra of those tokens to get more decorating options or rare resources. There are a bunch of really pretty decorating things that are locked behind these tokens. So getting them unlocked early enough to do it is a great thing. So get all your skills to level 10. Now, one of the next tips I'm going to say is play in groups, because if you have the option to. Feel free to ask in general if anybody wants to group up for whatever you're doing, because not only if you're in a party do you get the benefit of whatever they do as well as what you do, but you have the option of double procs. As you can see here, it is green, it makes a pew 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 sound, and that'll give you double what you would have normally got from that item, and it is such a great thing to do. So pop in groups if you can. My next tip is going to be about paying attention to chat. As you can see, people will randomly say a letter and a number and whatever item it is. If you ever see a letter and a number beside each other, as you can see on your map across the top and the side, there are letters and numbers, and this is the grid for your map. It's a way for people to identify where rare items are and rare things are, so that you can go then to that place before it disappears and get benefit. As you could see, somebody was like C7, there was a small gold. So I looked on the map, I saw where C7 was, and because I knew where I was going, I just went that direction. And you can also see a lot of times they'll flare. You'll see the flare coming down to help you then find that more specific spot they were talking about. And then you get to just hop over here, mine that gold, and then bam, you got some rare gold that you didn't even have to hunt for because somebody else found and was nice enough to let you know, hey, it's here. So definitely keep an eye out on the chat and make sure to learn the grid, so that way you can get all those items. And then my literal final tip for this is just, I know it sounds cliche, but literally just take your time enjoying the game. There is only so much still with the game still in technically open beta. So they're still adding a bunch of stuff, but you know, you don't want to kind of burn through everything so fast, because Lord knows I get super addicted early on and all I want to do is play the game all the time. And I burned through a lot of the things so fast, and part of me wishes I would have taken my time for a lot of it and went a bit slower through a lot of the quests and really enjoyed getting to know all of the villagers and such. So my final tip is literally just sit back, enjoy the game, and just take your time with it. It's a cozy game, so just do whatever you want and have fun with it, you know? And don't feel like you gotta rush to beat the game, because there's no rushing in this game. Just take your time and enjoy it. And those are my 10-ish tips for beginner players here in the world of Palia. So let me know down in the comments what's your favorite tip, and maybe I'll make a video about your favorite tips as well. I'll see y'all later though. Bye!